Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for yet another transfer show. Tonight, in action is myself, Alex, and Jack. Billy is taking a well-earned rest and having an early night, as early mornings are crippling him. But old age catches up with everybody. As my neck is in absolute sheer agony tonight, do excuse me if I move like this. And not just my neck, because I simply can't. It's like I've got no neck.
It's how Jamal Lascelles defends a corner.
Yes, thank you, Alex. I mean, that really makes me feel a lot better.
At least you're as mobile as Jamal Lascelles.
Well, yes, but I'm starting to actually believe now that Susan has tried to break my neck just because I wanted to go to America. I'm starting to convince myself of that now, that she's done something to me during the night, which would basically put me out of action for a very, very long time. Trolls, thank you very much for your 100 Norwegian kroner straight off the belt. There is no comment there, but thank you very, very much for that. I really do appreciate it. Usual rules tonight, guys. If you do enjoy tonight's show, please do or don't forget to hit the like button. It's really important that we continue to build the channel the way we're going, and your likes are massive for that. And of course, if you're new, please do subscribe. We are well on the way to 19,000. We are so close. We're less than 400 away now from 19,000. It's been an incredible rise, just like Newcastle United. So basically, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Come and be part of the wonderful community that we here have in the chat already. And of course, the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload. And of course, if you want to donate to the channel, like Trolls has done wonderfully so tonight, you can hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments, and that will take you through to a payment method. But another plus point of doing a super chat, of course, is that you're guaranteed to get your comment read out on the show. So thank you very much in advance for that, everybody. Right, I just want to talk to you two quickly before we talk about transfers. There was a bit of news announced earlier on that according to, well, I mean, it came on Sky Sports News website, Twitter page, that VAR claim that there is only one error per 37.5 matches on VAR. Alex?
Well, that's based on apologies given, not the truth, because they've not apologized for everything that's true, have they? So,
well,
probably, yeah.
Look, it's a stupid stat, though, isn't it?
Because that stat will have come from apologies given out. So they're only committing. They're only not committing. What's the right word? They're only admitting that the ones they've apologized for are mistakes. So they're probably factoring that into their stats. So you know, the Maguire handball for Forest, the 7, 8, 9, 10 different things we've had. We only got the one. We've only had the one apology, haven't we, with the Willock?
Yeah.
A goal that got disallowed.
Indeed.
So it's purely because of that.
All the pies, thank you very much for your 99p super sticker. Cheers, Stu. That's really appreciative. I mean, the Maguire handball, the penalty area was too congested, was the rule that wasn't given. I mean, honestly, the excuses are getting worse than what Arsene Wenger used to say when his team conceded penalties, or you know, something happened. I did not see it.
Because when in a crowd and he gets congested, you just natural reaction is just to put your arms up there.
Well,
right?
Of course it is. Yeah, I mean, you know, how many people do you see in the rush hour running for a train, and they're all running like this? Ridiculous. Absolutely redonkulous. Just seriously. Pedro says, good evening, you beautiful people. Good to be on here again on this lovely warm evening. Come on, the boys. Toon Gamer says, I think our recruitment should be buy players to fit our system, not buy players and try and make them fit the system. That is a very good point. And I'm sure that's what Eddie will be looking at.
That's what I've done so far.
Yeah. It's interesting. Look, I mean, I think we'll have already done our homework, guys, for the players that we're interested in. Obviously, these ones that we're going through on the show, I have a feeling one guy is going to have a very interesting reaction. But we'll just we'll talk about him when we come to him. Troll says, "I'm not saying Gordon is a bad player. I'm just saying he's not worth £45 million." Alicia, good evening. Chippers to you. Mary, good evening to you. Peter Merrifield, hope you're well. Spike, good evening. James, good evening to you. Geordie Howeman, 12th man Toon. He says, finally, an effing good show. Evening, everyone. Yes, I saw you were watching one particular show earlier with about 12 people watching. So, Cushy, good evening to you. Simon, good evening. Mason, evening to you. Everyone's saying hello. New Jersey Geordie says, hope everyone's great. We'll be in town all the way from the States for the Southampton game. Absolutely buzzing for it. Well, I'm pleased you managed to get tickets, because trying to get tickets at the moment is like trying to find a snot in a haystack, never mind a needle. I mean, it is impossible. Just impossible. I tried to get Alex a ticket yesterday. And I was something like 24,000 in the queue. I got on eventually about an hour later, and it kept showing up little seats here and there. Kept clicking on them, said not available. Kept refreshing. Another seat popped up, not available. And then eventually it just said it's sold out. So it's just crazy. It really is. Lewis is evening TDR Farm. Are there any real world-class fullbacks in the world?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Is the answer to that question?
Yes. Well, there's loads out there, but unfortunately, we haven't been linked.
We're in a bit of a funny phase at the moment in terms of tactical. The age of tactics currently is not favouring fullbacks, because it's all Kyle Walker's been dropped based on Pep favouring a funny system. With Stones and Ake, and Stones being a midfielder in build-up. Trippier doesn't function as a fullback really for us. And most of the, Champions League teams, I mean, Bayern have taken Cancelo just because he's a top player and you might as well. But fullbacks are not quite what they used to be. I mean, who's a traditional world-class fullback? I mean, you're going to start talking about your Hakimis and your Alphonso Davies and stuff like that. But those are just the superstar names that people just throw away. So,
yeah. Toon Gamer says, I think we need a left-back, a centre-back, a central defensive midfield and two wingers. William says, love the videos, lads. God is very happy that you're back, Stato. God was very worried about you for a time. But, Stato is a very busy man trying to get his personal life sorted as well, with getting his good lady back into the country. So he's a very busy man and does need a few days off from time to time to get everything sorted, as well as the hoovering and the dishes and all that kind of thing. Julie says you can get them neck cushions, Paul. They're very good. Well, it's no good having neck cushions if Susan's trying to break the damn thing every time I try and sleep. Matty says, shall we all chip in so Jack can get a house with a pitch view of St. James's Park as well? Well, Jack does have a green screen. No, I think what he means is basically a green screen like we have. Jack does have a green screen, which he uses on his own channel, so I think we should get him a background for this one. I think that should only be right. We'll get Fez onto it, Jack.
Problem is, when I put my green screen up, there's like, I'll show you now. I'll put it up like that. You can see all gaps, the things, and it won't be like fully.
Yeah, well, that's you have to get your camera sorted.
You have to get a big one. My green screen is absolutely enormous. It's ridiculous.
Bigger is always better, Jack. You'll find that out in later life, good man. Geordie Howeman says it's time for Dan Asher to unearth some gems this summer. Vinicius Jr. Well, I don't think he's a fullback, is he? I wouldn't class Vinicius Jr. as a fullback.
Absolutely not.
Carlos says Sean Dyche had Paul in a headlock. Abs says, I thought the America decision was by mutual consent. It was, of course, Abs, it was mutual consent. But again, I'll reiterate that it was what happened on this show with people trying to entice me to go to America.
The poll has spoken, Paul.
Yes, the poll was not the best idea that I have ever had in my life, to be honest. But Alex forced me into it. So, he forced me into doing that, Paul, and I got myself into trouble.
I think we should run a poll. Did Alex force him into it?
George says, evening all. Been out the house 3 times this week. First time since September. Yeah, I've seen your photos, mate. I'm glad you're getting out and about. It's great to see. Necklace Nobby. Well, no, I do have a neck. I just can't move it very well right now. With all the names we are linked with, I'm guessing it's a 6-hour extravaganza. No, we split the shows up, mate, to be honest. We're not going to go on for 6 hours. I don't think even 6 hours would cover it, if I'm being openly honest with you. It's a lot of players. Davey says, good evening, Paul. Get some naproxen down you. Great anti-inflammatory. Look, I'm trying to keep away from the painkillers, if I'm honest. I don't like taking... I'm on enough medication as it is. I don't want to take any more. Good evening, Stu. Would-be farmer, Mo, Larry and Curly doing the transfer show. Well, who the hell's Curly and who's... I don't even want to go into that, to be honest. James says more like 1 error per 1 minute for VAR. Indeed. Ian Skinner says Paul's neck equals king of the Daleks. Thanks for your sympathy, guys. Honestly, it's just incredible, that. Simon says that's VAR making VAR. Sounds like an own goal to me. Colin says, hi, everyone. Great to be back after getting my laptop fixed. Nice one, Colin. Phil says, I always hit the like button first as I know it's going to be good. Thanks, buddy. Fez, so 1 mistake every 4 match days. Aye, okay, VAR. Yeah. Lies is what it is. It's pure lies, Jack.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. They have an error every single match. When there's like say there's about 7 matches on one weekend, they'll make a mistake every single match. It's ridiculous. It's just they're trying to massage their ego because they believe they're the best when they're not.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, look, I don't know what to make of it. It's just an abysmal system right now.
I have a question for you guys and the viewers as well, because I've been really busy the last few days. Why is Michael Oliver refereeing in Saudi Arabia when Ronaldo's headlocking people? Well, can somebody fill me in? Because I haven't the foggiest. What's going on there?
Mate, to be honest, I have no idea. I saw that today. I'd seen the incident, but I didn't realize that Michael Oliver was actually refereeing. I was very, very puzzled by that. Jack, have you heard anything on that?
No, I haven't. Sounds interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, was that a sending off, Alex, in your opinion?
What, a headlock?
Well, it wasn't just a headlock, was it? It was like an American sort of WWW.
He came from behind as well, and then it was like that's not what a suplex is. I'm sure it has a name for it in wrestling. Like, no, that's not allowed. Sorry, Cristiano, but that's a no-go. You could have just tried to win the ball.
Oh, now I know what you're talking. I've seen it today.
You've seen it, right?
Ronaldo comes from behind and just headlocks him down. Yeah, I've seen that.
I haven't seen, to be fair, I've only seen still images of it, so it might make it look a lot worse than it was in reality. I'd have to maybe watch
it was bad. But... It was bad. He wraps his arm fully around his neck and just pulls him down.
Yeah, I was a little puzzled why Michael Oliver just gave him a yellow card, to be honest, but maybe because it's Ronaldo. I don't know.
He's been told, do not send off, the poster child.
The star player of this league.
I need his shirt at the end of the match.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, guys, what I've done is we are bringing you guys in for a little bit of a poll. Not about America or anything like that. This is basically an additional player that we're going to cover tonight. So if we get through the ones that we've already got scheduled, we've got 3 other players in this poll. So if you guys want to go on and vote, we will cover that that player at the end, providing we have time. It's in there now. It's pinned at the top. So if you want to go and look at the 3 players and vote who you want us to cover, once we get through the ones that we are already covering. So we'll get your choices on that. Right, Alex, who's the first one up tonight?
Let me just bring him up. I think we all know who he is because I'm pretty sure we thumbnailed him, didn't we? Give me 1 second. is obviously Ekitike. Before I even get it up, we're going to have to go there again.
Yeah, we are. I don't know. I don't know whether I want to or not, but I guess we're going to have to. Dear me.
It'll be all squashed at the moment. There we go.
Yeah.
Here he is.
There
There's
he
his
is,
funny
guys.
face.
I mean, it's a long time since we've seen Ekitike, but there he is.
Yeah. So I can already hear frantic typing of keys from certain people.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm sorry. I know. I know. But he's linked. The question has been asked. There are French papers, saying it's not quite working out. Is it going to change? What's going to happen? So we've got to have a look at him. It's how we do it on the channel. So, he's still really young. Like, he's 20 years old. He's not even 21 yet. So he fits this kind of João Pedro young mold. Fair enough. We did go for Alexander Isak. So I'm not 100% sure what the likelihood is of this kind of transfer. But to be fair, I do think we might go for a versatile forward. Kev from Twitter as well thinks the same. We might go for sort of a João Pedro wide forward kind of option. It's a bit younger. I would agree. It's definitely a possibility. So I think he's still technically contracted to Rem. He's not officially a PSG player. PSG have an option to buy. He's played considerably more minutes than I remember, because if we actually looked in the first few weeks of the season, he did not get a sniff. It was ridiculous. He literally got no minutes for ages. He got like 10-minute cameos here and there. But he's got close to 1,000 minutes across all competitions, 6 goal contributions. It's not too bad. And if we scroll down, we can have a look at how he's actually profiling statistically. Still very, very solid. Pass completion rate is very tidy. You would expect that within that PSG team in that league. The carries are still extremely healthy for somebody his age. Let's not forget. The passing and certain things, your teammates can help inflate your stats. But take-ons and carries are mostly you. You've got to do that yourself. They can obviously pull players out of the way and create space for you, but generally, I would say 90% of that is down to your individual talent, is being able to carry the ball, successfully take on players. So this is his good work, because he's a really, really talented young player. Progressive passes received is healthy as well. Good amount of touches in the attacking penalty area. Good defensive contributions as well, as we've previewed before. Assists are really, really good. It could do with a little bit more shot volume, but again, this is definitely something that might be dependent on PSG. When you've got Messi and Mbappe in your team, you don't take those shots. You pass or you get subbed. So I would take his shot creating actions and his shots total maybe with a pinch of salt, because in that team, it's difficult because I've watched maybe 3 or 4 PSG games, since the start of the season. So it's not enough to really ascertain what's going on. But presumably, if Messi's through, you pass to Messi. You do not do that. You don't take it on yourself, or you're in big, big trouble.
That's a very good point.
So in terms of who he's matched with, so he's profiling a lot like Guidi and Kalimwendo, who we've been linked with both of these players before. I think. Well,
Alex, it's going to get to the stage, mate, where every single player that shows up on the screen we've been linked with. That's going to happen very soon, isn't it?
Well, I've kind of got 2 categories. I've got players that are linked because newspapers are just newspapers, and players that are linked because they profile well with what we want. So you'll see this with one of our next links, which you might be able to see in one of the top tabs. But we will. It's no surprise. Look at Alexander Isak, 6'3", athletic, talented, young, and then if I scroll up, look at Ekitike, young, 6'2", athletic, talented, goal scorer. It was clear what we were going for. So the rumors were correct. It was what we were going for. We just went with Isak. We dropped some big money because Wilson got broken early on, and we just panicked. Right, let's have a look at the meat then, the important bits. So contract expires 2023 with PSG. They have an option to buy, but he goes back to Stade Rennes if they don't want him. and that expires the following summer. So he'll have a year left on his contract. So for whatever reason, we could get one of these funny situations where PSG just go, right, we're just going to give him back to you. Didn't work. Don't care, whatever. Or they could try and do one of those funny things that they do where they buy him and resell him immediately just to make a profit on him. So they will trigger an option to buy and then mark him up 10, 20 million and then sell him to somebody in the Premier League. It's very, very possible. That does happen. So difficult to know how much he would be. I still think he's probably going to be around the same price because although he's
you think he'd be the same price, do you, despite the season he's had at the minute?
Yes, because it will just get inflated because of the fact PSG took a chance on him. I think that inflates his price automatically because somebody of that caliber took a scouting chance on this kid. And the year he's had training with such elite players. And then also you factor in they're gonna push the price up anyway, just because of everything that's happened. I think they just can. So we'll probably end up looking at a fee similar to what it was anyway, somewhere between 20 and 25 and 35. I don't think the goalposts have moved much. If we have a look at his sofa score, how's he doing recently? Some interesting recent performances. So it's no surprise to see that you've got Messi and Mbappe starting in front. So this kid's not really getting much of a look in. But Verratti got injured. He came on with half an hour to go. Okay, heat map, I guess. One shot on target. Just a bit. Just odds and sods. It's not really enough data to give us much. There's a half decent rating up here in Feb when they played against Lille. And they went, obviously, they started, Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, and then he got subbed on. So Neymar got injured. He got to play some minutes when they were flying. Strange, considering he tended to favour a lot more left side last season at RM, but obviously, it just depends where they need him. He's just got to fill in wherever. 3 successful dribbles. See, this is where you can see some of what he's about. 3 successful dribbles, a couple of shots. This is 6 out of 7 ground duels. This is tidy. This is the kind of stuff he was producing consistently last season. So I think he's still really good. He's just not really getting much of a chance at PSG. I think he'd be a great player for somebody. But then, all right. I mean, I'm sure you will change that. You will ask these questions, but is it his agent? Is it his temperament?
Well, yeah, that's what we're getting in the chat. A lot is coming in on the chat, Alex, mainly saying he's burnt his bridges, blah, blah, blah. Now, from my honest point of view, right, here is a kid, very young age, playing for Rem. Is it Rem in France? Yeah. So Newcastle come in, and obviously he spoke to Newcastle. PSG were hovering. Didn't come in at the same time. They came in later. Now, if you're a young kid grown up in France, PSG is the be-all and end-all. Absolute be-all and end-all to play for. Now, I'm not subscribing to this. He was badly advised by his agent because his agent probably would have pushed for the move to PSG anyway. However, a young kid, he's French. He's got a chance of moving to PSG, which he's probably dreamed of playing all his life. And let's be honest, Newcastle to him wouldn't be the same size of a club or anything near to that PSG would be to a young French kid growing up. Now, whether we think he's right or wrong for what he did, it was a confusing situation for him at the time. He said he did come out and say that he didn't feel comfortable moving abroad yet. That was a big issue as well with him. Now, whether, he's gone to PSG and he's had this on and off season, I guess, at PSG, but, training with these guys every day is something else, something that he would have dreamed of playing with the world-class stars or even training with them. It hasn't gone his way on the pitch, it's fair to say that. However, I don't think that diminishes from the talent that this kid's got. And if he does come to Newcastle, what better manager would there be to bring him on than Eddie Howe? We've seen it, and we say it time after time after time about bringing these players in and being nurtured under Eddie. He's got a big job to do with Anthony Gordon, in my opinion, but we will see. He hasn't been here long enough to make an opinion yet on whether he's worth 45 or whatever. We can question it, but we can't make an opinion on it yet because he simply hasn't played enough. Jack, I just wonder about you, what your thoughts are on Ekitike, because for me, you know, he would have had his family talking to him as well, and all the French stuff points to PSG. And look, he's a young kid, and he's probably made a mistake going there. But when PSG come calling, you're not going to turn them down.
No, because it's like we weren't born in France, were we? It's like being England and the team you support.
Well,
like
Brexit means Brexit, Jack.
You're very correct. Obviously, we support Newcastle, and that's like Newcastle's knocking on the door. Say we get an offer from Southampton, but then Newcastle are hovering, and then Newcastle end up coming in.
Or Brentford.
You're gonna go to Newcastle every single day of the week, no matter who's playing there, because it's your supported club, and PSG is the big club in France. It's the big club, and it's where everyone wants to go. Hence why they get a lot of players. But I can understand partly of what Ekitike did, and if he didn't, and he's a young player, and if he didn't feel comfortable moving abroad, I can totally understand that. But it's a bit of I don't sound rude, but it's a bit of common sense needed in that, because I mean, you go into a team where you know you're not going to get enough minutes, and you need minutes to grow potential and be a better player. And if you've got players in there like Mbappe, one of the best players in the world, Messi, Neymar, you're just not going to get a chance. And I feel like you just need a bit more common sense in there. And I feel like a Premier League move would have been a little bit better. Or you could have just stayed at Reims.
The thing that I'm not agreeing with people in the chat is, and again, it's everybody's opinion, but the calling out his attitude. Now, no, I don't know how anybody can make a judgment on this kid's attitude, because we haven't really seen any attitude from him. I
think the Instagram post was ill-timed, and that's what a lot of people will point to.
But again, who was running his Instagram? Was it him? I'm not so sure. You know, remember his age.
I don't know if they have social media managers at Rem, to be honest.
Well,
they might do now.
It could have been family. It could have been anybody. But at the same time, he's a kid. And let's be honest, Alex, if he came to Newcastle, right? If he does sign for Newcastle and starts really performing and becoming a real player for us, which he's got the potential, nobody's going to think about that summer where he turned us down because PSG came calling. You know what I mean? So,
and I agree with what Jack says about minutes as well, but you've also got to remember it's the opportunity to play with such talented players. And this is a young French kid who's watched the rise of Mbappe. He's watched Mbappe lift a World Cup, go to the next one, nearly win it for his country on his own. Like, why would you not want to play with him and learn? And then on top of that, you've also got Messi and Neymar next to Mbappe.
You make an excellent point there, Alex, because Ian's just put in the chat there. At this time, you know, when he could have signed, he says there, would you like to play with Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, or Kieran Clark, Jamal Lascelles, etc.? I mean, come on. You know, that just says it all, does it not?
They've still got Ramos there. Like, the profile, it's crazy.
But I think with, you know, it's going to be interesting because there's been a lot of sort of media spotlight on possibly a loan deal for a year and then just to see how he settles into English football. That might be a better way of doing it. You know, what do you think?
He's not got time for that. He's got 1 year left when he goes back to Rem. So unless there's some funny situation where they redo his contract, but he's at the point where he needs more wages as well. I don't, again, because FBref by Capology seems to suggest he's still on €10,000 a week. And maybe that's true, but if it is true, he's going to want a damn sight more if he comes to the Premier League. But I find it strange if he gets this magical loan to PSG and he's you know, still on €10,000.
Well, listen. I don't think PSG are going to sign him. It hasn't quite worked. But this kid is a player. We know he is. You don't lose that talent. In fact, you know, training with the guys he's training with all year, you would think that he'll improve. You know, he'll see the likes of Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. You know, all these wonderful players who he's training with on a daily basis. I mean, God, you know, you cannot really blame the kid for going there. I certainly don't. Look, could the situation have been dealt with better last summer? Absolutely, it could, right? There was a lot of mix-ups and a lot of puzzles that never got solved. However, you know, if we do go in for him this summer, I'd welcome him with open arms to Newcastle because I think I think he'd be brilliant.
If we end up getting him, can you imagine a breakaway counter-attack where you get like a 4-on-4 and it's Maxi, Isak, Ekitike and Willock all absolutely...
I mean, yeah.
That's frightening.
This is the thing people have to look at. And Jack, I don't think Eddie Howe is looking at this situation now thinking, oh, he's burnt his bridges with us. Because Eddie Howe will be thinking, I have no doubt he'll be saying, look, he's French, he's gone to PSG. Let's be sensible about this. It could have been handled better, but the kid wanted to play for his boyhood heroes, and play with the world-class heroes he's watched season in, season out. But to come to Newcastle, it would be a brilliant signing.
It would. And for people saying about his attitude, it's not his attitude. Because if he comes to Newcastle, he'll be a top player. Yeah. And I would, like you said, Paul, I'd welcome with open arms. He's a top player. And at the end of the day, it's another class player adding to the quality we've already got here at Newcastle. And it's just going to make the squad even better. And it's going to be even better for the future as well, because he's 20 years old. We've got a lot of young talent in the squad, including the likes of Isak, Willock. We've got so much young talent in the squad that's just going to rise throughout the years, and he's just going to be another addition to it.
Yeah.
And
I just seen a comment there. Sorry, Jack, from Jimmy. Jimmy's been in hospital of late, guys, and I think he's got out. I've seen a message this morning saying he was possibly getting out today. He says, so nice to see you, crazy bar stewards, again. Keep up the great work. Fingers crossed I can make it back on Friday. Jimmy, it's lovely to see you, mate. Absolutely fantastic to see you. I know I spoke to you off camera, but keep getting well, matey. And hopefully they'll find out what the cure is to get rid of these infections that you keep getting and get you back to full strength again. You've been a miss, matey, but we send you all our love from everybody over here. So get well soon, buddy. Big ass bloke says, I watched Ekitike play a few times in Denmark. Hey, Alex, I think I'm improving with his name. Do you not think? I've said Ekitike on numerous occasions now without even spluttering. Attitude is good. This kid can play, no doubt. Andrew wants to swap him for Ryan Fraser.
God, yeah.
Who did score for the under-21s, of course. It was that the day before yesterday. I think it was Monday, wasn't it? He did that.
Okay.
Yesterday, yeah. I know you don't care, Alex. It's fine. Geordie Lad says, people make mistakes. And at 19 to 20, you were going to go to the club that is in the Champions League next season. Yeah, of course, it was Champions League football and everything like that. So,
can I just also add that at the beginning of the season, it wasn't odds on we were going to have this season that we've had either.
Absolutely.
So he was because the club aim wasn't Champions League. Obviously, it was give it a good go, but the club aim was probably something in the region of top 10, top 8.
Well, we were saying top 8 start of the season, weren't we? So
yeah, so that those aims possibly would have been reflected in transfer talks with whoever we were trying to sign at the start of the summer. So here's us coming along. We've got no Isak. We've got none of we've not got Isak yet or any of those players.
Yeah.
It's just us coming along at the start of the summer saying we're going to try for 8th. Do you want to come and join us? And PSG go, well, we're going to try and win the Champions League this year. Do you want to come and play with Mbappe? Yeah, okay. You can see why he's done it.
Absolutely. Ian McKenna, thank you very much for your £20 super chat. Off topic, but everyone following Gaza on Scared of the Dark on Channel 4. No, I've read about it. I haven't seen anything of it yet, though. Larry says, to be completely honest, if he signs for Newcastle, I'd support him 100%. We're all just a bit salty he didn't sign in the beginning. The Messi and Neymar thing is a big point.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. Bitterness makes you miss talent. I'd still take him, says Geordie. Christian says, I'd still take Ekitike. Potential is there. Larry says, training with those world-class players versus training with Chris Wood and Lascelles at the time.
Can I just also point out that if we signed him, let's we sign him in the summer, in 5 years' time, in 5 seasons, Isak and Ekitike will be 27 and 25. In 5 years' time, they will still be peak age. That's ridiculous.
Larry says he's almost hoping Ekitike signs just to hear Paul in the commentary scream Ekitike. I would scream Ekitike. There's no doubt about it. It would be screamed from the highest point if he belted one in from 40 yards or got the ball 50 yards out, took everybody on, whooped it in the onion bag. No problem. Bosh, get in there.
He's also a very tall player as well.
He is. I mean, look, Alex, we can remember back when we wanted to watch him play for the French youth team back in the summer. We tuned into that game. There was me, you, and Billy on commentary, and he pulled a hammy after 5 minutes. It was a disaster.
But I did see him in the previous games, but the first one we watched together live, yeah, that was a real shame. Yeah. But we did also get to see Seko Mara, and we called he was going to be really good, and now he actually looks really good for Southampton.
Yes, he does.
I tuned into the game a little late just to watch it. Because a lot of reports are saying, he's going to travel down to Newcastle on that Sunday. So I'm like, I'll tune and see how he goes. And I see him sitting on the bench. And I'm like, why is he not playing? And I heard he pulled his hamstring after 5 minutes.
Well, that was the day, of course, that some of the YouTube channels decided to announce that he was coming for a medical when he was, in fact, playing for France. Which was
Geordie's clickbait channel.
Well, could have been. Some of my mates were even saying they wouldn't have Tony back because he celebrated against us. I find all this crazy. If they're talented, sign them. Some people need to get over their own egos. Yeah,
Ivan Tony doing the gritty on us.
I mean, look, if there was a chance of signing Ivan Tony, again, I'd welcome him back to Newcastle, no problem at all, because he's a quality player. I have a feeling, however, that he's going to miss quite a little bit of football in the coming near future. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with him. Kath, good evening. Kath says, better to go for him once PSG is out of his system. If we got him and then they came sniffing around, then we'd feel far worse. That's a very good point as well. Devon says, I still can't believe Chelsea won £80 million for Mason Mount. Yes, what do you think of that, Alex? Yeah, there's nothing really you can say. Yeah, absolutely. Niall says, what about Kuol? Do you think he will be sent out again next season?
I haven't followed him the last 5 or 6 weeks.
How's he getting on at Hearts?
He's not getting games. Hearts are like... It's a very strange situation at Hearts at the minute, to be quite honest with you guys. I think you come back in the summer, Newcastle will take a good look at him pre-season. I think you'll be involved a lot in pre-season, and then Eddie will make a decision. I have a feeling that's going to be the same for Elliot Anderson as well.
It's hard for these young players because teams like a bit like, do we want to play this young player very inexperienced when we're trying to do well in this league? It's hard for young players to get minutes.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, but we'll be in more competitions next year, won't we? So even if we fall away and finish in the Europa or Conference League places, we'll still have
an awful lot of football.
There's a lot of fixtures, and Elliot
probably more football if you need to be than the Champions League, Alex. Because
it means Lascelles will get minutes. It means if he stays, it means Anderson will get minutes.
Because there's definitely something there. I mean, we saw it in the World Cup. There's something there. And
without a doubt,
I don't want to draw like Bayern and Real Madrid in a bloody Champions League group and have to start Dummett and Lascelles in that.
Oh, Christ on a bike, Alex. No, let's not even think about that. Peter says it would be very helpful if someone of the status of David Ginola were to accompany young Hugo to St James's Park and act as a buffer for the lad. He's a prodigious
I think
talent.
That was done at the time. I think there were talks of we had ambassadors who were doing things transfer-wise. There was the suggestion that had been happening. We've not got confirmation of it, but don't see why it would be made up.
Clive says, Paul, why can't you get Sven Botman name right? You keep calling him Dan Botman. Clive, that was way ago. I don't do that anymore. Much. Ashley 80 says, I've always said I'm happy with any European games. Definitely. Steven says, got more chance Fraser starring in the Amazon Lord of the Rings series than playing for Newcastle United. Yeah, I don't think
because they re-asked him, didn't they? They re-asked him after the under-21s performance if he was going to be seen again, and he just went, no. I think his answer was literally just no.
Yeah, he just... I mean, that says it all. Louis says, I'm currently sat in Cineworld Middlesbrough, 4DX, watching the Coldplay live event thing. Obviously, the Toon review is more important, and I'm probably the only person who've watched the Toon review in 4DX.
Yeah.
Marvelous.
Just go break into the projector and get him to put that on instead.
Yeah, just put us on. Yeah. Keith says, how's the corner case of Man United knocking us out via Europa League work? No,
that's not how that works. If Man United win the Europa League, we get 5 spots, I believe. The only way that would have not worked is if Chelsea had have won the Champions League and finished outside. That's the only way that would have knocked us out if we'd finished fifth. Fourth,
Doesn't affect you,
whatever it is.
No.
But yeah, no, Man United winning the Europa wouldn't change anything.
Shamrock says, but Alex will probably sell Isak and Ekitike, just like we are going to sell Bruno, says Shaka. Shaka's been on the good stuff.
And drinking.
Yes. Rochi says, fucky sakey, when Ekitike misses a chance, will be class from Paul. I'm sure I'll come up with quite a lot. Michael says, there is a question over how Eddie Howe can handle egos in the Southern media. Signing Ekitike and Gordon will show them if he can do it or not. Well, listen, the Southern media, let them get on with it. Let them get on with it. I don't think
Gordon has an ego.
I think the West Ham game showed he has got more gears to go through. When we were winning and he screamed at everyone on the touchline in front of all the cameras, I think there's more gears that we've not seen yet from Eddie Howe.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's take a look at our next player, and it is shut up, Jack. Shut up. This is my turn. This is mine. Right? I reckon his name is Maxence Caqueret.
Better than I could do, yeah. My French is awful.
Maxence Caqueret. That is it. There you go. Boom!
Can we get Google Translate on that?
No, you can't. I am correct, Jack. You will learn that. Go on then, Alex.
I'll hear what Google says.
So this is... I really do like this kid. I could see him in a black and white shirt. I think he's talented enough. This is somebody that all of the Twitter in the nose have linked. This is something that newspapers have linked. He's been linked unofficially. He's been linked in all kinds of publications. And there are also a lot of...
Sorry to interrupt, Alex. Haaland's just missed a penalty for Manchester City.
It's fine. They're still 3-0 up.
He is human. And Davy Brewers, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. We may come on to him, Davy. Just stay tuned.
Yeah, right. I will say I say this every time. Yeah, exactly what Jack said. You've got to be more specific. Which Dembele? Because there's like 9. So
there's like a striker from Lyon, and then there's that right winger.
Thuram as well. There are 2. You've got to be more specific. I'm assuming he means Ousmane Dembele, but we need to ask. Anyway, this kid Caqueret. So he's been linked a billion different ways. People do threads on him all the time because whenever any of these stat people online try and do who's a good centre mid for us, what would work, who's technical, who's young, who's this, who's that, Caqueret always comes out of the list. Always. He's brilliant. He's just, I love him. He's great. And I will explain why. But first, 64,000 euros a week, good wages from Lyon. We've done business with Lyon not too long ago with a certain Bruno. So the link's there in terms of recent transfer history. Recently signed a new contract, so it will be a fat wad of green cash, unfortunately. Transfermarkt has him at 25 million euros, I think. Let me have a look. Yes, that is a little bit of a white lie. He's not going to be that much. He's going to be considerably more than that, 100%. 23 years old, 1 goal, 6 assists, which is quite tidy, actually. That's quite a lot of goal contributions for considering where he plays in the side. So he is a midfielder. What else do we need? The only downside, I think he could do with filling out a little bit. He's a little bit light. 63 kilos, 5'8", 5'9", whatever he is. Could do with being a little bit plumper for the Premier League, I think. But still got some reasonably good physicality.
Alex, a bit plumper.
Buffer, hencher, stronger, whatever we're going to say. He just needs a bit more.
He needs to look more like Elliot Anderson.
A little bit, yeah. He needs to go to the gym a little bit. So he profiles very similarly to somebody in our team. Does anybody want to take a guess at who that is?
Well, would it happen to be Bruno?
Maxi?
Yeah, there we go. His closest stat match is Bruno himself, which is really, really interesting. Yeah. Enzo Lefebvre is also, somebody that everybody signs on.
Marino's on there.
Marino's on there as well.
Gavi's on there.
I know people don't like Iwobi, but he's not bad as a midfielder. He's okay.
Yeah,
He's all right.
So
Gavi's all right. No, and Jacob Ramsey, who was superb against us, by the way.
So yeah, you can see he's profiling extremely nicely. And the fact that our scouting and transfer department and whoever was in charge of decisions, and the fact that they went for Bruno, means that they will have people of a similar ilk on some list somewhere, you would imagine. So this kid is on a list. So yeah, that's lots of green. That's really, really nice. Passing isn't quite as tidy and as safe as you'd think. Although I think this is doing him a little bit dirty.
Who does he play for, Alex?
Leon. So that we dismantled their midfield a little bit. They lost Paqueta, they lost Bruno, they lost a lot. So they got Tolisso, who obviously we did a lot of transfer shows on, and they got Caqueret. This is somebody that came in to fill holes, as was Tolisso. So actually he's been there considerably longer. I think he was there when Bruno was there. Yeah, he was. He's been there for ages. So passing not as good, but take-on's really, really tidy. Receives the ball really high up. So plays a little bit more forward than you'd think. Maybe not a 6. Shot creating actions is incredibly high at 3.46. Just insane. Defensive output's really tidy. Tackles is really, really, really high. And if we have a look at his career so far, literally Leon from the age of 18 has got a good number of seasons at senior level football, lots of League One experience. Leon's slightly underperforming, to be fair. And then if we have a look at the sofa score, let's boot that down. He's not smiling in his picture, is he? Doesn't look very happy. So let's go to struggling a little bit with some ratings, but never mind. Let's look at his Leon against Rene game. Where are we? So here we go. So they started in a 4-1-4-1 with Tolisso behind, which is interesting, and then Caqueret a little bit further forward in midfield. And if we have a look, very, very active heat map. Looks like he's been taking corners as well. We could do with somebody who takes some more set pieces. I believe he is right-footed. 2 key passes, attempting some crosses and long balls, dribbles. Gets mucked in with the duels. To be fair, a lot of the time when I looked at the sofa score, he's not that bad with the duels. I do think he could still improve on it. But again, it's that lively, active, technical midfielder. This is somebody that could play sort of Longstaff's role. I don't know if he's not going to be covering as much ground as Longstaff. Like Longstaff's vastly underrated in his sort of off the ball output. But this guy is a huge technical upgrade and would be a massive addition to the midfield. Let's go and have a look at one of his better games against who's a Coupe de France, Grenoble. I don't know who that is. Somebody down in the lower leagues. So they played a funny 4-2-3-1 with him as part of a double pivot, absolutely everywhere, 93%. 4 accurate long balls out of 4, crazy amounts of ground duels. So again, it was against a weaker team, 7 tackles, but you can see the potential and the output. This kid is only 23 years old. So he's, I think Bruno came to us at sort of 24 and a half. So Bruno had 18 months on this kid by the time, he got there. And obviously Bruno's Brazilian and has got the experience of other leagues, whereas this kid's just played in Ligue 1. Sofa score. So he's been part of the national setup for a long, long time. So that's really, really positive. So all the way from the under 16s. Oh God, no, I don't want Coca-Cola. Go away. There we go. Sorry, guys.
Other fizzy drinks are available.
So all the way up through to the under 21s with 19 appearances and 2 goals for the under 21s. It doesn't look like he's been capped at senior level, which you can forgive him for, given the depth of France's team.
Just a bit, yeah.
So we can see the date of last contract was the 11th of July 2022, which unfortunately is this fat one running all the way through to 2027. So we're going to have to be it's going to be more than that. There is not a chance on this planet that he's going to cost 25 million euros. But I really, really like this kid. I think he'd be brilliant in our squad. But I think we will bring in possibly one midfielder. It depends what they want to do. There's a lot of shouts for bringing in a 6 and then letting everybody else move a bit forward. And there's people just saying, sod it, we'll just buy another 8. Like, Depends what the club want to do. It depends if we're going to have a system change. It depends on a number of factors. So, but I would 100% take this guy.
Jack, what's your thoughts on him?
He looks a good player, and he's definitely one of the players I like at this squad. And he looks very good technically as well. And he's just one of them players, like kind of like a bit of a Bruno. You just know you're going to love him from first sight. He looks a quality player. I'd take him at Newcastle 100%.
He'd certainly free Bruno up a little bit, but just like Longstaff does. But I think this guy has bags of talent, bags of it. And look, even just for his name, right? I mean, you could just see the Toon fans singing the Macarena to him because, Max Caqueret, you could just fit the Macarena in there somewhere, couldn't you? And you just know they'd have a song for him straight away. But by his age fits the bill. He's talented, and I'm sure. Look, Bruno will if he is linked, which we've seen in the press. Bruno will speak to him. There's no doubt about that. So there's possibilities there. There's definitely possibilities there. But it's the transfer fee, Alex.
I couldn't really begin to tell you what it might be. I'm not sure. I really don't know. It's because we got a good deal out of Leon for Bruno, really, and I don't think we're going to get away with that twice from the same club. So they'll probably mark it up a bit.
It's certainly not going to be 25 million quid, is it? Let's be honest.
If this kid continues to develop, in a couple of years he could be an absolute world beater. But he has to continue his development. I think he has to improve his physicality, possibly a bit of work rate. But again, I'm not saying he needs that now. It's not that he's incomplete. He's 23. He doesn't have to be the finished article at 23. It's absolutely fine. He's incredible for his age. But, the trajectory, I mean, it's crazy talking about this, but the trajectory of where we're trying to go, if we want people who are going to be able to develop into title challengers and consistent Champions League performers, we can buy some people to pad out the squad. That's why we get linked with people like Mitoma. But then we also need to lay down the real cards and pick up some real talents. And I think this is one of those players.
Ashley Eddie says it would be interesting to see what Longstaff's stats are in comparison.
No, it wouldn't. I can show you, though.
Go on, then. Let's.
I mean, Longstaff has been done dirty by the fact they removed pressures from FBref because his pressures per 90 were through the roof. He is also 2 years older. So this is how Longstaff is profiling at the moment.
Right, it's not even in the same ballpark.
You've got to remember that a lot of this doesn't factor in off the ball contributions. So his work rate isn't factored in, really.
Well, I mean, Gavi's still on there, you know what I mean? So, it's not all bad, is it? Really?
Yeah, he's profiling next to Franck Kessier, but then also Ryan Yates. Like,
there's not really a... Listen, Longstaff, we missed Longstaff on Saturday. I am in no doubt about that. So
that's Longstaff.
So that's Longstaff.
Yeah, this is Longstaff, and then that's when you put Caqueret next to him. So a little bit more defensive. But again, you've got to take into account a lot of this is on the ball statistics. So Longstaff's work rate is hard to
get through a lot off the ball, doesn't he?
Statistically. So
interesting. Alex, there's been a couple of people in the comments who obviously want to know what your thoughts were on the game at Villa. So, because obviously you haven't been on since then. So, do you just want to sort of give a quick rundown on your thoughts of the Villa game?
I was surprised. I thought we would have a better second half. I was disappointed by the response. I think the Villa players and Emery knew we were going to try and come out, and I think their response to the second half was perfect because they knew what we were going to come out and try and do. Unfortunately, because we'd had to try and do it in the last few games, it was very obvious what we were going to try and do in the second half. Tactically, logically, so they shut us down quite hard. Watkins, a few bits of individual quality, that they were first to the second balls. Their passes were really clean and tidy, and we just had a bad day at the office. 4 or 5 key players struggled. It happens, So this season we've lost to Man City, Liverpool, Aston Villa. It's fine. It happens.
It's all about how we respond on Sunday, and I can't wait to see the response. NUFC Ollie says, what about Diallo from Sunderland? Well, we can't because he's a Manchester United player. And I have a feeling that Man United may just have a look at him in the summer because he is a very, very good player. Too good, obviously, for them lot, but there is rumours that Ten Hag is a big fan of Diallo and is keeping a very close eye on him. So, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Would-be Farmer says, Longstaff is an example of stats not being the whole story.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jordy Lad says, when we get Champions League football next season, who would you love to draw? Listen, I don't think I care.
I'd like one big name. I'd like one big name, a big name coming to St. James's, but I'd like an easier one.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't care because we'd be in the goddamn Champions League.
Bayern Munich or Real Madrid are my favourite. I would go for either one of those two. It would just
be amazing.
James says,
Dortmund, yeah. If Antoine Griezmann was like 27, I would have bloody loved to have seen him here. His FB ref is nuts.
And his off the ball work is really good as well.
It is. Which nobody talks about Griezmann like that. His off the ball work.
That's why he plays for France more. Everybody's like, oh, why is Griezmann playing ahead of so and so and so? Because he does a lot more stuff than people don't really realize.
Chris Rigg from Sunderland is quality. He is, and we are watching him. That was made known in the winter window. Ab says, if we want to move to the next level, then I believe Longstaff needs to be a squad player, though he has done great this season. Oh, absolutely, Abs. I don't think anybody's in any doubt about that, but we need him for a squad. Bill says, for a defensive midfield player, I would want someone who is good in the air as well as technically gifted. Ian says, I'm assuming Doobs will be moving on. Won't we need a new keeper? Well, we haven't had any links to any yet, so as soon as we do, we will bring it to you. Sophia, good evening. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jack, Paul, and Alex. I'm late again, but I've been listening in the office, so it doesn't count. Fair enough. We'll let you off, Sophia. Oh, and look who's first to comment. Would you believe, Would you believe? It's the woman sniffer. Honestly, chippers you like a dog with two hands. Right, Alex, next. This is the final one before we do the poll. To do our final player. And this is... Alex, I think you just throw up these names on transfer shows just to test me, right? But here we go. Pair of shoes. That's the easiest name to say. Instead of saying his real name, you just say, a pair of shoes is playing today.
Pair of shoes. Call him Dan Shoes if you want, because he's Botman's friend. So,
all right. Oh, well, okay, Dan Shoes, but pair of shoes. There you go. It couldn't be any easier, could it?
So this is the rumored. I say rumored. He's been linked, soft linked transfer wise. It could be the understudy to share or the successor, whatever name label we're going to give to that. Played with Botman at Ajax. Is also Dutch. Profiles similarly in terms, age, 6'3", although I think how tall is Botman? Something around that.
6'4",
I think he might be a bit taller, yeah. He is right-footed though, which is, is what we need. Because although everybody kept, banging on about, we need to play Burn and Botman together, we like balance, we like the passing lanes and the way it allows us to play. So having a left-footed left centre-back and a right-footed right centre-back is how Eddie Howe likes to play. I like it as well. And that's why I'm going to force the narrative, because everybody else forces their own narrative. So why not? So contract expires June 2023, which I don't quite get. I'm going to have to check his transfer market. I'll have to load that up in a second. Only 23 years old. We've said that. Wages are low. 2 assists. Another Dutchman defender who can't score a bloody goal. But we push on. Botman will score eventually. 1,800 minutes in Serie A. Have I mentioned he plays for Torino? He plays for Torino, which is really, really cool. I like Torino. So if we scroll down, doesn't profile incredibly well, but again, is young. Nice pass completion accuracy. Successful take-ons. Again, able to step up past that first press, play a nice safe ball. So although he's not can that stop being orange? There we go. Although he's not profiling green everywhere, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. You know, he's able to get those nice, careful passes across. He can step past his first press, play the ball carefully. Tackles are there, aerial duels are there, clearances are there. It's spiking in the right way. You know, we don't need him to be carrying the ball 5 times a game and shooting this, that, you know, he's doing the right things, which is fine. He's profiling as he should. And he's got some nice stat matches in here. Mike Guehi's, you know, well respected at Crystal Palace. I know Wout Faes has had a shocking season.
Not Wout Faes.
He was profiling very well.
Why does this twat keep popping up, man? He's horrible.
Because his underlying numbers are great. He just makes mistakes. That's the problem.
That's an understatement,
so
Alex.
He profiles well, but he makes tons of mistakes.
I was right when I called his surname Feces because he's shite.
So yeah, profiles really, really well. So for score-wise, here he is with his funny Torino badge. Might not be as expensive either, technically.
I love the way you still knock those transfer fees down like it's.
I always do. I've got to. Yeah,
I know you do. You've got a habit of it now.
So Torino versus Roma. Yeah, we get to see Mourinho's team, which I love Mourinho's team. It's so cool. But we're not here to look at Mourinho's team. So here he is in the linchpin in a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1, however we're saying that. Managed to get a 7 rating despite getting booked, which is nice and tidy. Really, really, really dominant heat map. There is no doubting what position he plays. Crazy amount of defensive output against a strong Roma side. 4 tackles as well, interceptions, blocks, clearances, the whole lot. It did give away a penalty, but we won't. We'll
gloss over that. Yeah,
we'll gloss over that bit, which was the deciding factor in that game. 5 out of 6 ground duels. You know, profiling well in the dueling. Pass accuracy, you can see against the top side, 60 out of 65 passes, 92%, really, really tidy. Not as many long balls, but they might be coming from other people. It depends on their style of play. And then just because it's Mourinho, I want to see what he played. Look at this team. Wijnaldum's there. And Sharawi. Oh, I love that team.
Chris Smalling.
I know, and they got Zalewski as their wing back. So, yeah, consistent ratings to a point, although they did get absolutely hammered by Napoli. But, I mean, who doesn't in the league?
That's a good point.
Scroll down. Oh, we got linked with Pinamonti before. So here we go again in the centre of defence in a back 3. Scroll across. Profiles really well. Even got a little aggressive attacking heat map there, obviously from corners and stuff. Seems to be also part of a short corner routine or something, I'd imagine, being stood here. So scroll down. We've got some interceptions and some nice defensive work. Really good aerial duel output as well. 84% pass accuracy is decent. So again, some consistency here. You can see what the lad's about.
We expected them to beat Sassuolo, though. To be fair, 1-1, not the greatest result for them. But I like this guy. I have to say, I do.
It's not as obvious. I mean, who have Sassuolo got? I mean, Pinamonti's a good player. Maxime Lopez is not bad. I'm not super familiar with Sassuolo, but why would you expect them to beat Sassuolo? You know, Torino is also a middle of the pack to lower table.
Well, I think
our side.
Some of this, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at Torino as the big side they used to be a few years back.
No, they're not quite where they used to be, unfortunately.
No, they're not.
We will have. How do I spell his name again? Sturs. Oh God, I've got to try and spell that now because I've got to try and find him on here. Sturs. There we go.
SCH. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Got it. Well, there's who, but it might be his brother. Oh God!
So there really is a pair of shoes. Hey! Boom! Knocked it out of the park. Boom!
He's got.
I was so quick on that one. I tell you, I'm impressed with that.
So he joined.
Do you know what it is? I've just come out with a classic there, and used to just sit there as if nothing's happened. That was brutally brilliant from me. I'm blowing me on
because I knew that you were going to try and shoehorn that in somewhere.
Oh, there we go. You see. Honestly, trying to steal me thunder.
So, yeah, for some reason, FBref has not updated their Capology's not updated it. His contract expires June 2026, so he might be expensive. With an option for a further year as well. And he's also a big boy with a Nike sponsorship and Prime 11 as his agent. So he's,
Well looked after.
Funny advert. There we go. So 17 caps at the under-21 level. And let's not forget how hard it is to get a call up to the Dutch senior team as a defender with how hard it's been for Botman. So, 17 caps at U21 is pretty decent. We'll have to wait and see. I like this kid though. I think this is a really nice,
I do as well. Yeah,
safe. It's a sensible signing. I think it's a really sensible signing.
It's certainly somebody that can also improve. Jack, what's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, young player, 23 years old, very tidy defender. And we are looking for defenders to cover the likes of Botman and Share. I know we've got Burn to cover as well, but he just looks a very tidy defender and a defender that I definitely want to bring in as well.
Absolutely. Geordie boy, thank you for your £5 super chat, mate. I did say it before, and he was very impressed with my pronunciation of Mr. Macarena from France, and said that made his name sound awesome. So thank you very much for that, Geordie boy. I appreciate that. Anyway.
Well, now we can't sign him because it's going to be Macarena to Ekitike it's just going to be horrible.
The Newcastle fans are superb at making songs up, Alex. They'll have a song for everybody. Lewis says, I don't like being a downer, but I think we're going to finish 6th. But we'll be so happy with that. Look, I think, Lewis, I think between 3rd and 6th is where we're going to finish. But I mean, we did the predictions of last night and quite clearly think we're going to finish in the top 4. But there's a lot of opinion. Look, at the start of the season, like Alex said at the beginning of the show, we all thought somewhere like, top half or top 8 was going to be a considerably good season for Newcastle United. It's turned out very different now, where we are actually challenging for the Champions League. We didn't predict anything like this at the start of the season. So, 6th, if that's your opinion, then that's perfect. Whose career so far, Alex? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I get you now.
The one shoe.
Yeah, we'll go back to the one shoe.
I just thought it was important to highlight how much football this lad's played for 20. Is he 23? 23-year-old.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Like, so he's obviously his more local team or wherever academy he came from. To play. I'm assuming this is the 2nd division of the Netherlands. 2 full seasons for them as a 16 and 17-year-old. Then got his move to Ajax and has subsequently played 1, 2, 3, and 4 full seasons for. I say 4. He moved then, so 3 full seasons as well. Winning the trophies, winning all the trophies in the Netherlands. Then got a move to Italy and has played in 22 starts so far in 1,800 minutes. Like, for somebody his age, he's got an abundance of experience, tons of youth international caps, loads and loads of seasons under his belt.
He made 21 starts for Fortuna. I know it was the 2nd division, but 16-year-old and 21 starts.
So he's, this is why lads like Botman come in and look so much calmer than their actual age suggests, because they've got this under their belt. And, this kid's come through the Ajax academy, played with, I say academy. He's not come through the Ajax academy, but you know what I mean. He's played for Ajax from a young age and been part of that setup. Was with Botman as well.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, it's not just Ajax who have a wonderful academy. The way they bring players on in Holland in general is brilliant. The way they nurture these players.
Belgium and Holland are brilliant at it.
Yeah. Spike Milligan, thank you very much for your £20 super chat. There's no comment there, but thank you for your continued support, mate. I really do appreciate that. Really big donator to the channel and keeps us going. Thank you so much, buddy. Lewis says, I've just got a really bad feeling in my gut, but I hope we finish in the top 4. Reese says, the Dutch duo at centre-back, Botman and his pair of shoes. See, it's happening already. It's happening already. Stephen basically just has a word for Mr. Feces, and it is the shite emoji. Colton says, no good. We have enough players that can't score. Oh, come on.
He's a centre-back. It's not his job to score. Don't worry about it.
Geordie Lads says, next season is going to be fun as we are going to struggle with all these hard names. Oh, no. The commentaries are going to be amazing. What about that Kim Min Jae? He's Kim Min Jae. I know what you're saying there, you see. That's a little bit of a get on with it. Jordy Howeman says, Sir Bobby's press conferences would be hilarious with all these names. That would be definitely. Paul's proud of that one. I am, yes. Didn't look much wrong with the neck there, Paul. Funny enough, Abs, I know, but I will regret it later. I just celebrated my fantastic... Look, I'm sitting here. I've got a big sort of thing behind me neck on this chair supporting me, so I'm fine, Abs. Don't worry about me. I know you're not, but there you go. The Chippers didn't agree with that joke, but Chippers, you're just a funny rat. And Carlos says, boom, Paul. Paul's got a good heart and soul. Oh, hey, there you go. Oh, yeah, your neck looked much better there. Yes, it did. I'm regretting it now. Thank you very much. Honestly. Ian says, have a look at Plim's soul. Oh, dear. Oh, just some of our viewers, just tremendous. Ross's favourite new BBC One programme is The One Shoe.
Just imagine if he starts with Cher, it'll be Cher's shoe.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, that's too complicated. Right, so we'll do one more player, and that is the result of the poll. So let's have a look at who got what in the Pearl. Right.
You're forgetting one funny there. Trippier's surname, we call him Trips, don't we? Shoe Trips.
Yes. Shoe Trips. Oh, dear. Yeah, we're here all week, guys. Right, the winner of the Pearl is Mitoma.
Mitoma, isn't it? Of course it is. Of course it's Mitoma.
He got 47% of the votes. Florian Wirtz got 36%, and Calvin Phillips with 18%.
The cultured people went with Florian Wirtz. He's going to be one of the next best players in the world.
He is indeed. Right, so it's Mitoma, Alex, for our final player of the evening.
Okay. Well, let me open up all of his tabs first, so we know what Mitoma. I've actually not looked at this guy for a while statistically, so this will be fun. Okay. All right. Oh, God,
in fact, hang on, Alex, before you do that, get those emojis going.
Yay.
There she is. She is fitting well. And by the way, just before we do Mitoma, I don't know whether anybody's seen this. We have a new header for our Facebook group, which is soon to go on the YouTube group, the YouTube panel as well. And Daisy stars in that. And there it is, right there.
Why do I
He's not seen that yet.
why do I look like a little baby?
It's a baby. Obviously, you can see the antelope on the other side with my phrase from last summer saying it's only a baby before I got bitten.
It looks like you're holding Billy's cowboy hat. It looks like you're trying to be a lumberjack and a cowboy at the same time. Yes,
I know. And I don't know where my right arm is. It seems to be down my pants, which I've just noticed that. Susan!
The river time's dried up a bit there as well.
It has, yes. We're looking in the year 2112. But there you go. I think Susan's designs for these stuff are just absolutely hilarious. They really are. I love that she's put Jack in a pair of dungarees, and he's kind of looks like he's just learning to walk. He's leaning on Daisy. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Right, Mitoma, Alex. Hang on, I'll get him back on the screen again. Kaoru Mitoma. I got there in the end.
Adding all kinds of vowels and sounds to that.
Kaoru Mitoma. Kaoru Mitoma. There you go. I'll see it in Japanese. Kaoru Mitoma. Oh, Kaoru Mitoma. There.
So, cover your ears because it's going to be cringe, but I'm going to say what some people already know. But I've got to say it just in case people don't know it. So Mitoma, crazy dribbly boy. He's the dribbliest boy behind St. Maximin probably in terms of technical ability, because he studied it for his PhD thesis in Japan. Did he do it in Japan? I think he did it in Japan. He did it somewhere anyway. And it was the whole concept of he strapped a GoPro to his head and he studied, dribbling and all aspects of how it functions and how to do it the best way. So, and no surprises, that translates into being a very good dribbler, which he is in the Premier League. He's exceptional for Brighton at the moment. He's almost unstoppable. Shifts his body weight and in ways that just confusing defenders, just different kinds of shapes and movements at different times, completely throws people off. Very different to how Maxi plays, to be fair. Although Maxi's that's not too far away, to be honest. So 25 years old, nearly 26, isn't as young as people might think. He's not early 20s. He's definitely, peaking. This is peak, really. And Brighton have absolutely, got a steal here. Only paying 10 grand a week is an absolute, I can't say still too many times, but it is. It's literal robbery. It's crazy in the Premier League. 7 goals and 4 assists is madness when you look at the amount of minutes he's played. Just for context, how many minutes has Miggy got? I always try and type in Miggy in the search bars, and they don't know what that means. It's because it's Almiron.
yeah.
2,000 minutes. Yeah. So 11 goals, 1 assist for 2,000 for Miggy, and Mitoma's, not too dissimilar in a total output. I think he's what? Yeah. So he's 10
grand a week. Wow.
Yeah, when you compare that, Miggy's on a rumoured nothing, because Capology
Miggy
having
just
a day off. Doesn't get paid. Gets paid in smiles.
Miggy just plays for free, son. I just like the way how high pitched your voice went there, Alex, when you said nothing.
Well, he apparently gets paid in his smile, so who knows? Contract. I'm not trusting FBref today. They are absolutely throwing with the stats.
Yeah, they
expires in June 2025, apparently, but I'm going to check on Transfermarkt because I don't trust them anymore. 5'10". Let's scroll down. Bearing in mind he is running a bit hot on his XG, but if any of you have seen him play this season, some of his goals, some of his finishes have been outrageous. I don't think he's a flash in the pan. I think he's just got a high level of technical quality, and he's just really hit his stride coming into his peak age.
And he just looks like one of those crazy Japanese ninjas that you wouldn't pick a fight with. Well, he does.
God, Bill.
He does.
Move on.
We'll gracefully move on from that remark. Yeah. We apologise if we've offended any Southeast Asian.
How is that offensive? Just saying he looks like a ninja. It's a compliment.
Is it?
Yes.
If he moves like a ninja, that would be a compliment. But if he looks like a ninja, I'm not sure. That's like saying you look like a butler because you're.
Move on.
Right. Who does he profile?
Whoa, hang on. I look like a butler. Really?
That's like saying you look like a butler. I'm not saying you look like a butler. Right. Bukayo Saka, anyway. Grealish, Coman, Martinelli, Foden. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He 10 of the best wingers currently in the world at the moment. And Solly March is in there as well. Somehow snuck him in, although he's having a fabulous season also for the same team. Let's scroll across. Oh, dear Lord. This is ridiculous.
Oh, God.
A salad of greens.
Jesus.
Can I scroll out? The laptop's being a bit funny. There we go. So, progressive carries, without a shadow of a doubt, exceptional. 5.47 per 90, which is freakish. Successful take-ons is extremely high as well. Progressive passes received into the penalty area is 10, which is super high. Touches it's basically either let Mitoma do it himself or get the ball to him are the two actions here. And it's not just about that. I mean, Welbeck's playing well at the moment. Solimarch, as you can see, is banging him in, playing well. Just crazy. So defensive output, very energetic. Non-penalty goals, nice and high, 0.39 per 90. Shot volume is really low, but he is hyperclinical. So
Haaland has just scored, by the way.
4-0 on aggregate.
Yeah.
So let's go down, and he's actually winning loads of area draws as well for 5'10". So interesting career. As you can see, this follows on from the story of he went to do his university stuff about dribbling with his GoPro on his head. That's why he's only here at 22 years old on FBref. So he played for Kawa Frontal. Are we saying this in a French accent? How are we saying this?
No, you're saying it in Japanese. Kawa Frontal.
I'm not. I'm not even. I don't know. So they won the Japanese league twice in a row. It's not the club that Iniesta plays for. That's all I know. It's funny. So, not even that many starts. 11 starts, 13 for them. Moved to the Belgian First Division with Union SG. Got again only 11 starts. So he's actually got more starts this season for Brighton than he's had across his whole career so far. So it is difficult to try and assess him. But if you look at his output across his small sort of career so far, he is, first season at 22, 13 goals, 12 assists in Japan, 8-3 again, 5-3 in Belgium, and then he's continued that. I mean, we've still got a good handful of games left for him to go on and reach double figures. He might be able to get 10 goals, maybe 5 assists or something. He's definitely got more left. Is he a realistic signing? Oh, look at the funny. He's got Japanese trophies here. That's cool. Look where he was born, Paul.
Kawasaki.
Kanagawa. Kawasaki, Kanagawa, Japan. Alex, I'm trying to pick you up on something there. Look at those 3 Japanese trophies.
I know, it was a joke.
I mean, what? You could have just said, look at the trophies he's already won. By the way, David says you said Kawabunga. Did you say Kawabunga, dude?
I don't think so. I'm 100% confident I didn't say that, and this is recorded, so I can go back and prove it.
I don't think that matters, Alex, to be honest.
Right, 15 caps for Japan does matter though, with 6 goals. That's crazy. Japan obviously doing quite well in recent years at international tournaments. So a little bit better. They're getting there. They're playing regularly. So the contract does match up with what it says on FBref. We're just not going to get him. There you go. Do you want to pronounce his name in kanji?
No, I can't read a word of that. I've just seen a comment from Stu. He says, old Chinese proverb, man who walks sideways through airport door is going to Bangkok.
Oh dear!
Wow! Oh God!
Let's get rid of that. Go away, Tuchel. So you can see where his university days kind of happened. He's only been part of the Japan setup from the under 21, so 20. How was he in the under 23s in 2017? Aged a year and then went back to the. I'm not even going to ask. He's been involved at a youth setup. Never mind. He ages in reverse, apparently. There we go. This is his university. So this is what I was trying to explain. So Tsukuba University is presumably where he did his funny PhD with his GoPro on his head. So this is everywhere.
Do you keep mentioning the GoPro on his head? There's no reason.
Because it's a huge part of his game.
The GoPro on his head?
Yeah, that's why he does all this dribbling, because he literally studied it. So he took it upon himself to try and learn how to be a better footballer before he became a footballer. That's the whole idea. Is he's like in some movie where he went to study it before he did it. It's a very strange, unique situation that he finds himself in, which is why the story just keeps getting. If you ever watch a Brighton game, as soon as he touches the ball, it's the first story the commentator says every single Brighton match, and people are getting a bit sick of it because they say it all the time. So
Robert says, did you hear about the Irishman thought an itchy fanny was a Japanese motorbike? My God. Oh dear God. It was nice doing this channel, guys. It was really nice. So
that's why we can't have nice things, because when we review a Chinese or a Japanese player, this is what happens.
What do you mean we can't have nice things? It's called having a bit of banter, Alex. I mean, it's not nasty. It's not. We're having a bit of banter. By the way, Mitoma, I'd have him in a second. Absolutely superb player. I mean, listen, in all honesty, Brighton have some fabulous footballers there right now. I mean, what's the guy that scored that goal against Chelsea the other day? I watched his. I watched his
the South American kid.
Yeah, watched his highlights. He was absolutely magnificent, and the goal was incredible. But it wasn't just that; it was the build-up play that Brighton had.
That's
him. Yeah.
He's South American.
It was the way they were, the passing and everything like that. The build-up play was just unbelievable. But what do you reckon, Jack? Mitoma? I mean, obviously we've seen plenty of him this season, so I mean, he looks a player, doesn't he?
When I first saw him sign for Brighton, I'm like, is he one of these ones where he's in the spotlight for about a few weeks and he just goes missing and then he goes off to another move somewhere? But no, he's just a quality player. He's just everything you want in sort of a winger, wouldn't you? He's a brilliant finisher. I mean, that finish against Leicester, wow, what a finish that was. He's just unbelievable.
Just a bright lineup.
I mean, alongside McAllister, Marta, it's just De Zerbi's got that team playing some brilliant football. And Mitoma was just the cherry on top of the cake, in my opinion. He's just a quality player.
Absolutely. And remember, right, that South American kid didn't even start the game against Chelsea. Evan Ferguson had to come off injured in that game. But you look, I mean,
incredible as well, by the way.
Yeah. Lewis Dunk, right, a player who I've always spoke very highly of on this channel, and
they got 3 injuries in that game. Bloody hell!
Yeah, I just think Lewis Dunk is just an incredible centre back, brilliant. In fact, they've just developed a wonderful team. But you have to say that Zerbi's done an incredible job there. Absolutely, because I remember when he got the job at Brighton, and everybody wrote him off. Jean-Paul Van.
I thought you'd like that one.
Shame he hasn't got an L at the end of it, though. That would have been funnier, wouldn't it? Van Heckel.
Where's the? There it is.
Yeah, Van Heckel got heckled. But you know, I remember when this guy got the job, and he was written off straight away as being somebody who doesn't know the Premier League or anything like that. And look, he's come in, and the way he's got Brighton playing is simply sensational. It really, really is. The attacking football they play. And bear in mind, we've still got to play them this season at St James's, which is going to be an absolutely cracking game of football. 2 very attacking teams going at it. I can see.
We're just lucky that we got them out of the way early at their place.
At their place, yeah, we did.
And we were, that was a tough test. That was with the 1-1.
Yeah,
and we weren't on our day there. We were not.
Yeah.
I still think that was Bruno's hardest game. I've never seen him get robbed so many times.
Absolutely. Chris Murray says, make this episode last as long as possible, as it will be what gets me through work tomorrow when I listen to it all. I wish we could, Chris. I wish we could. Sophia says, this chat always makes me lol. I take it makes a laugh. I'm not down with the kids, but lol, yes, I do know what lol means before anybody
makes a laugh out loud.
Yes, Jack, I do know that. I am not that stupid. I am not 80-year-old, matey. I am down. I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
You just said you weren't down with the kids, so I'm trying to just clarify it for you.
Ab says, I never spoke about Dunk. It was all about Cody. At one stage it was, but that ship sailed.
Have you heard, Paul, that Everton lost a behind closed doors game to a
Chester City
team, to Chester?
Yes. Yeah.
And Cody started in that game as well.
They played a very strong team, did Everton? Yes. Which gets funnier and funnier all the time. So they're heading in completely the wrong direction. But there you go, guys. Some very interesting players that we've got through tonight. Now, of course, I will stipulate again, these are only what's players linked in the media. We don't know anything about players that are coming in. We are not in the know. We don't claim to be in the know, and we never will be in the know. We will bring you 100% confirmation news as soon as the club do it. What's the matter, Jack?
See what Susan's put.
Not yet. It hasn't come through on my screen yet. I just wait. We'll wait and see.
Do you want to show it? Do you want to show it?
Has she dressed me up as a butler? Oh, look at that. Would you just look at that? That's disgraceful. Oh, get lost!
Susan,
seriously, as if breaking my neck wasn't bad enough, you go and do that to me? You're supposed to love this man. And you're trying to... Alex?
You got hair. You got hair, Paul.
I know. That looks wrong. It just looks
I
wrong.
think she used my hair like graphic on you.
I don't know.
Sure what she's
I
done
don't
there.
know. No. Sophia, I'm not sure what this means, but she's talking to Ian McKenna. Did you just try to pull play me? What the hell is that?
What's going on with Sophia in the chat?
Fez says, King Hoddles here. Hello, King. It's getting put in the emojis on Discord. Fez, I will fire your ass if that goes into Discord, right?
Do it.
Play me. What is going on?
But the phone case is coming soon.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching the transfer show. We have loved it. Again, brilliant banter as well as looking at some very, very talented players. As I say, we're not in the know. Hopefully, Newcastle, when they confirm news, we bring it to you straight away. We don't ever lead you on with clickbait and stuff like that about players coming in. Once the club let us know, we let you know. Simple as that. It has to be confirmed by the club before we guarantee anything. We'll talk about rumours, of course we will, and media hype and stuff like that. But we're never going to say somebody's coming in when we don't know yet for certain until the club let us know. But
what is Sophia saying?
I don't know. I've given up. It's going to be a very interesting summer. That is the main thing, and a very exciting one for us Newcastle fans. And hopefully during that summer, we are looking forward to being in the Champions League. What are you laughing for now?
Sorry, I've just seen Annie's tweet. It's hilarious.
Oh, right,
It's about the Man City Bayern Munich game. He's put so somebody asked Owen Hargreaves, so what's the key for Bayern Munich to go through here? And he replied, well, they've got to score goals.
Yeah.
Owen Hargreaves, Michael Owen. It's just something about the name Owen. It doesn't matter if it's the start or the end of your name. It just seems to be a problem with football.
Well, with Annie supporting Bristol City, you don't get to see a lot of goals, so he's not in the mood for goals, so he just don't really know about goals.
Ab says if any Japanese viewers have been offended tonight, then we can only apologise. Japanese people have a good sense of humour, all right, and they will be laughing along with us. Anyway, if you have enjoyed tonight's show, God knows why, but please do hit the like button for us. As I say, it really does help the channel. And of course, if you're new and like what you see, probably not anyone from Japan tonight, but please do hit the subscribe button. It is completely free to do so. And of course, that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any videos. You can become a member of the Toon Review if you do so wish by hitting that join button just underneath. You can catch us on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. We're also on have a Discord server which is going brilliantly at the moment as well. So lots of things to get involved with the Toon Review. But thank you to the super chatters tonight. Thank you to the mods again. Thank you to Alex and Jack, but mainly thank you to you guys out there for spending an hour and a half or so with us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, 8 o'clock with the match preview for the big game on Sunday against Tottenham. Alex will be back with his graphics and things like that. So we will have a brilliant show for you tomorrow night. Be there or be square, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock. Good night.
How are the lads?